were discussing about compensation management. Under that, we had discussed the factors which influences compensation plan of various industries. Plus, we had discussed the types of various wages. Wage plans also we had discussed. So today we will be starting with wage differentials. Wage means we will not go to the technical meaning of wage, that what is the difference between wage and salary. Because nowadays the concept of wage, that is the technical meaning of wage, is not implemented in the organizations. So here we will consider wage as salary, because technically wage means that when the remuneration for the work done is given or is paid to the employee daily, weekly, or fortnightly, that particular remuneration is called as wage. So that is wage. Earlier, this practice was there, that employees or workers were paid on daily basis. In some organization, they were paid on weekly basis, and in some organization, they were paid on fortnightly basis also. So that particular remuneration was called as wage. But nowadays, this concept is not existing in most of the organization, and the workers as well as the employees are paid the monthly wages, which is called as salary. So here we will consider as wage differentials as salary differentials. What are the differentials, salary differentials? So the meaning of wage differentials: wage means salary, differentials means differences. What are the various types of salary differences that exist in organizations, that we are going to discuss now? So that is the meaning of wage differentials. Very simple. Wage means salary, differentials means differences. If there are any differences within the organization or within the industry, or if there are any differences on the basis of gender of an employee, that we are going to discuss now. So wage differentials constitute to a specific difference in wages between industries or categories of employees. So wage differences. First one, interpersonal differences. Interpersonal differences means difference in wages of two employees working on similar designation. Designation of both the employees is similar, but the salary is different. Now, this can be practiced by the organization if, although the designation is same, but one employee, his work involves more risk than the other employee. Both the employees are designated as machine operator, but one employee is working on a more dangerous machine. As he is working on a more dangerous machine, that means more risk is involved in the job. As more risk is involved in the job, he is given slightly more salary than the other machine operator. So designation is same, but there are interpersonal wage differentials or differences or salary differences. Why these differences? Because of the type of job the person is handling, the type of machine the person is handling. As it involves more danger, as it involves more risk, it offers more salary also. So that is called as interpersonal differences. So when the different wage structure is implemented in the organization for same designation, but it should be based on some danger or some risk involved, or more responsibility is involved in the job, then it is called as interpersonal differences. Next one, interoccupational differences. Interoccupational differences mean that both the employees are on the same occupation, but they are being paid differently. So again, here also we can say that if the occupation are same, but if the organization can give the justification for these differences, that why they are paying for the same occupation different salary to people. If this justification can be given by the organization that because of same occupation is there, but one person's quality is better than other person's quality, production quality, that is why we are giving more salary to the other person. Next one, inter-industry differentials. Inter-industry. Now, we all know that there is a difference between company and industry, or organization and industry, or a firm in and industry. So industry can be, say, there can be in an area, there can be, say, 5 organizations or 5 firms or 5 companies which are operating under a particular industry. Suppose pharmaceutical industry is there. So pharmaceutical industry, under that pharmaceutical industry, there can be 4 5 organization or companies which are operating, which are manufacturing pharmaceuticals in a particular area. So when we talk about inter-industry differentials, we are comparing the pay or the salary between 2 industries. Now, as we know that we are going through a period, a very unexpected period, and that is a period of COVID-19. Because of this COVID-19, everything is stopped. We got to know the concept of lockdown also. Earlier, it was not there. No one was aware of that also, that our life will come to standstill. Everything will be locked down. Everything will be closed, except the pharmaceutical industries, as they were life-saving. It was called as a life-saving industry. Now, there can be different pay structure, or there, what the pharmaceutical industries have started doing is to motivate their employee for better production. They have started, or they have increased their salary, and they have started giving them more incentives also. So if we compare the salary of pharmaceutical industry employees with, say, automobile industry employee, we will come to know that pharmaceutical employees, they are getting more salary when we compare it with the automobile industry employee. So when there is a difference between two industries regarding the payment of salary to employees, then we can say it is called as inter-industry differentials. There can be, say, the salary of a HR manager in pharmaceutical industry, maybe say 70,000, 80,000 or 1 lakh or more. Whereas there can be the HR manager's salary having same experience, everything is same. Qualification wise, both the people are same. But one person who is working in pharmaceutical industry, he is paid say 80,000 per month, whereas the HR manager who is working in an automobile industry, he is being paid 50,000 or 60,000 per month, and that is called as inter-industry differentials. Now, why this inter-industry differentials exist? It all exists on the basis of demand and supply. When the automobile industry starts growing, automatically they will start paying their employees more. When pharmaceutical industry is growing, automatically they are paying their employees more. When service industries are growing, they start paying their employees more. When hospitality industry start growing, they start their employees paying more. So that is called as inter-industry wage differentials. Next one, inter-firm differentials. There can be two organizations in the same area paying different pay structure to their employees, and that is called as inter-firm or inter-organization or inter-company wage differentials. Next one, regional differentials. Regional differentials means it can be called as area-wise wage differentials. If a company is situated in rural area, the salary of the employees will be comparatively less than the company which is operating in a urban area. A company which is operating in the state of Maharashtra may be paying more salary to its employee than the company which is operating in from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So that differences is called as regional differences. Last differences is sex differentials, that is gender differentials. This differential, we all know what this differential stands for, the meaning of this differential. And this differential's meaning is the salary being paid to male and female employee. Generally, it has been observed that male employees are given more salary than the female employee. And this differential particularly exists or mainly exists at the lower level employee. When we talk about senior level employee, there is less wage differentials based on gender. But when we talk about the lower level employee, we find more wage differentials exists at the lower level of employee. Lower level, suppose female workers are working in the organization as well as the male workers are working in the organization. Both male and female workers, they are working in the packaging department of the organization or packaging unit of the organization. There we can see that the salary of a male worker can be say 15,000 rupees, whereas the salary of female worker can be 12,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees or 13,000 rupees. This is existing in various companies, in many companies, and this is called as sex differentials or gender differentials. So that was regarding wage differentials. Next one, is linking compensation with performance. Now, linking compensation with performance is very simple. When the compensation, when the salary is linked with performance, it increases with increased performance. That is called as linking compensation with performance. Performance pay or performance based pay links the compensation of the employee to their performance and their contribution to the organizational goals. Very simple. This particular compensation is directly related to the contribution of employee towards the organization. The person who is contributing more, that means the person who is producing more, that means the person who is the most productive employee of the organization becomes eligible for the good salary or the highest salary under that category of employees. The process of performance based pay involves deciding and clearly defining the performance goals and the performance measures. Now, when a company is implementing the concept of performance based pay, there are certain parameters which are to be implemented before the company starts with the concept of performance based pay. Now, these concepts or these parameters, first parameter is deciding and clearly defining the performance goals and the performance measure. How the performance will be measured and what will be the target of performance, that is to be defined clearly by the organization, and it should be communicated to the employee. It should not happen that all of a sudden, without any without any designing of parameters, that how it will be provided to the employees, all of a sudden the company starts paying performance based pay. So that particular time it may not work, as it is not followed properly or as it is not being implemented properly. So for implementing performance based pay, there are certain parameters which are to be considered by the organization. So first one is that what will be the target given to the employee, and how that target or how that performance of the employee will be measured. So that should be first, that parameter is to be decided by the organization, and that parameter should be communicated to the employee. The employee should be knowing that this is the target. If they exceed this target, they become eligible for performance based pay, which is extra pay than their regular salary. This pay or this incentive they are getting only for their better performance. Regular salary, apart from regular salary, this will be a added component to their salary, that will be called as performance based pay. Next one, setting the target bonus for different level of performances. Different level of setting the different levels of target for different performance means that if the employee will exceed the target, then this much amount of performance based pay will be added to the salary of the employee. If the employee completes the target or touches the target, his performance touches the target set by the organization, then this much amount will be credited to the salary of the employee. So this should be communicated to employees. Next one, measuring the performance of the employee. Again, there should be objective methods to measure the performance of the employee. It should be measured in an impartial manner. There should be no politics while measuring the performance of the employee. Next, giving rewards and bonus according to the performance. The person who has exceeded the target should definitely receive more benefits than the person who have achieved the target. That is the meaning of the last point. It should not happen that both the employees who have exceeded the target, that means the target was 100 units to be produced per day. Employee A has produced 120 units per day, whereas employee B has produced 100 units in a day. So employee A has exceeded the target, whereas employee B has touched the target or has completed the target. So there should be difference in performance based pay of employee A and employee B. So depending upon the performance, the pay should be given to the employee, and that is called as linking compensation with performance. Now there are main four types of performance pay that we will be discussing now. First one, merit pay. Second one, profit sharing. Third is incentives and performance bonus. And the last one is gain sharing. So merit pay. So merit means depending upon the merit of the employee's performance, when the incentives are being added to the salary of the employee, that is called as merit pay. Next one, profit sharing, that we had already discussed the meaning of profit sharing and gain sharing in our last lecture. Quickly we will just take a look what is profit sharing. Profit sharing is a concept where, apart from the regular salary, it is always being paid to the employee, that we all know. Profit sharing means whatever profit has been earned by the organization, if the organization is sharing some percentage from that profit with the employee, that is called as profit sharing. The organization got a profit of say 10 crore rupees, and the organization has decided that it will be sharing 50 lakh rupees from that profit of 10 crore with the employee. So that will be called as profit sharing. Next one, incentives and performance bonus. Incentive and performance bonus is if the organization communicates to the employees that if you improve your performance, this much of amount, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, 5000 rupees will be added to your salary as incentive or performance bonus, then that concept is called as incentives or performance bonus. Those who will be achieving the target or whatever performance has been set by the organization, that if you perform at this level, then only you will receive performance based pay or incentive. Now here, every employee cannot fight with the organization to get performance based pay. As the name itself says, it is based on performance of individual employees. Those who are going to perform better in the organization, they make themselves eligible for this incentive or performance based pay. Those employees who are unable to improve their performance, they are not entitled to receive this incentive or performance based pay. They will be entitled only to receive their regular salary and not inclusive of incentive and performance based pay. Last one is gain sharing. Gain sharing means it is just like profit sharing. Profit sharing, under that we have discussed that whatever profit has been earned by the organization, from that profit, some percentage, some amount is being shared with the employees. So that is profit sharing. Gain sharing means when the organization has a idea that those who will achieve the target, a target is set by the organization and it is communicated to the employees that this is the target, and those employees who will achieve this target, they will receive a incentive which will be called as gain sharing. The difference between profit sharing and gain sharing is, in profit sharing, the organization has to have first profit, and from that profit, some amount, some percentage can be shared with the employees. So that is profit sharing. In gain sharing, the organization decides that whosoever will complete the target, everyone will receive certain amount of incentive. So that is called as gain sharing. Now, advantage of performance based pay, very simple advantages: less supervision, increase in earning, and increase in retention. If the organization has a concept of performance based pay attached to the regular salary of the employee, then it will lead to certain merits or certain advantages. First one, less supervision. Every employee will try to improve his or her performance because everyone wants to earn more salary. How they are going to earn more salary? Through their improved performance only. Apart from regular salary, they will be receiving performance attached bonus also. So that reduces the supervision. It increases the earning. Very simple. As the employee starts receiving not only salary from the organization, he or she starts receiving the performance based incentive also from the organization. Last one, increase in retention. It helps to retain the employees within the organization. It is one of the motivating factor for employee, because apart from regular salary of say 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, the person is also getting incentive in the say name of performance based pay. If he improves the performance, if he increase the target, achieves the target, or if he exceeds the target, he becomes eligible or entitled for performance based pay also. So he will receive say 1,000 rupees performance based pay, 2,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, whatever performance based pay has been categorized, has been fixed by the organization. The employee becomes entitled for that. And if he is earning more, then definitely he will be retained in the organization. So earlier he was getting 30,000 per month. Now the organization has started with the concept of performance based pay. Now he has improved his performance. And because of his improved performance, he is getting added incentive of say 8,000 rupees. So earlier his salary was 30,000. Now his salary has become 38,000 rupees. So he has started earning more. If he is earning more, that means there are more chances that he will be retained in the organization. Then there are certain disadvantages also of performance based pay. First disadvantage is contention among the employees. The meaning of contention is dispute or fight between the employees. Now, what happens is there are, say, 100 employees working in an organization. Now, out of 100, 20 have, say, achieved the target and they have become eligible to receive performance based incentive or performance based pay of say 5,000 rupees to their salary of 20,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees. So what will happen? There will be a contention, a fight between employees, that how only 20 employees are getting more salary. That will always be in the mind, that will be in the mind of the remaining 80 employees, because it's a general tendency, it's a general human tendency that we ignore our defects, we fail to find out what defects we are having, what disadvantages or what weaknesses we are having, and we find it very easy to find the weaknesses of others. How the other employee is getting more salary than me. So here what happens, as an employee, I, as an human being, I will, it will be very difficult for me, or it is not easier for me to understand the fact that because of my less performance, I was unable to achieve the target. And as I have not achieved the target, I am not entitled for the performance based pay. So majority of the employee, if they do not receive performance based pay, there can be fight between these employees and the other employees. It can be not literal fight, but there can be differences of opinion between these group of employees. They may not cooperate in work as they were cooperating earlier, because of this particular concept of performance based pay. So what can be the general tendency of the employee who has not received the incentive? That okay, what he will be thinking, if Mr. A is getting more salary, he should be doing everything on his own, as he is getting more salary. I am not going to cooperate Mr. A. I should not be responsible, or I should not make Mr. A eligible to receive more salary. So I will always try to say control myself when I am helping Mr. A. So because of this general human tendency, there can be contentions among the employee, difference of opinion, fights, quarrels between the employee, if this differences in payment is there. There is, so that is one of the disadvantage. Less employee input. Less employee input means those who are producing more, they are receiving more salary, but those who were earlier good performer, but because of some reason they were unable to achieve the target. As they were unable to achieve the target, they could not get the incentive added to their salary, and now they are not happy in the organization, or they are not satisfied with the organization's concept that it will be shared only to those who are performing better, because everyone in the organization feels that he is performing in a better manner. But only after measuring the performance, the organization can know the result that who are better performance and who are average performers. So that is again the disadvantage. Now, these people who are not getting the performance based pay, their performance also starts declining. Resistance to changes. Now, if majority of the employees are not getting this performance based pay, they will definitely try to resist implementation of this type of incentives. That whatever earlier was going on, that regular salary or equal salary was paid to all the employees at a particular level, same concept should be implemented in future also. Or if 10 employees are given performance based salary, then every employee should be paid performance based salary. So this could be the disadvantage of the performance based pay. Now, next one, team based incentives. Now, earlier we were talking about individual performance based pay. Now we will be talking about the incentive plans, the team based incentives. It is very simple. Team based incentive means the incentives which are being provided, which are being given to the teams on achieving a particular goal, on achieving particular target. So that is called as team based incentives. Now, first one is incentive plans are used to motivate the employees to be productive. Team of 5, team of 10, team of say 6 employees, they are given a particular task, and to motivate them, the company can come up with team based incentive. That if your team, say team of programmers, 6 programmers were there in the team, and they were given the task of designing a new program for the organization. Now, to motivate these employees, the organization, the company can come up with team based incentive. That if your team achieves this target or completes this program within a period of say 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, whatever the period has been finalized by the organization, then apart from your regular salary, every team member will receive 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees. So that will be called as team based incentive. So it will be shared equally among the team members. It is not going to be shared unequally among the team members. That one team member who has put say more effort will receive more benefit than the other team member who has received, who has made the least contribution in the development of that particular program. So that is called as team based incentive. Now, there can be say profit sharing, vacations, and quarterly bonus. Profit sharing, we have already discussed that what is the meaning of profit sharing. Vacations, so vacations can be provided to these employees on completion of their task. Say 6 employees were there in the team, all the team members can be provided with say 5 days vacation, 10 days vacation, that will be paid vacation, where they can enjoy quality time with their family. Now, these vacation, suppose if the company can sponsor their vacations also, they can send them to hill stations, they can send them to some other place, and everything can be sponsored by the company also. So their 5 days stay in a hotel, their 10 days stay in a hotel can be sponsored by the company. So that is vacations. Quarterly bonus. Quarterly bonus means after 3 months, certain amount can be added to the salary of these team members. So this team members, and that will be called as quarterly bonus. Now we will come to the next topic, which is called as separation. Now, separation occurs when an employee leaves the organization. Separation can be voluntary or involuntary. When separation is voluntary, the initiative for separation is taken by the employee, while in involuntary separation, it is by the employer. So, separation means when an employee leaves the organization, it is called as separation. That he or she is separating from the organization. That is why it is separation. Earlier, he or she was working in the organization. Now, as he or she is leaving the organization, this is called as separation of employee. There are two types of separation that is mentioned in the definition. One is called as voluntary separation, and the other one is called as involuntary separation. It is also mentioned in the definition that voluntary separation is an initiative which is taken by the employee. If the employee, say, suppose, comes to know that he is having better opportunities in some other organization, better growth opportunity, better salary opportunity. So he feels that he is having better opportunity. So he may leave the organization. He may resign from his organization and may join the other organization. So this type of separation, which has occurred by way of resignation of an employee, this type of separation is called as voluntary separation. That voluntarily the employee has quit the employment. Voluntarily, the employee has left his or her job. So that is called as voluntary separation, where the initiative is being taken by the employee. Employee was a good performer. The organization didn't want or didn't wanted to separate that employee from the organization, but the employee thought that he is having better opportunity outside the organization in some other organization. He wants to join some other organization for better opportunities, so he leaves the organization. So he resigns from his organization and he joins some other organization. So that type of separation is always called as voluntary separation, where the initiative is taken by the employee. Now here in this example also, it is very easy that organization did not wanted to separate this employee, but the employee took the initiative. He resigned from his job and he shifted to some other organization. So that is voluntary separation. Now, second type of separation is called as involuntary separation, where the initiative is taken by the organization. It is not taken by the employee. Now, for example, a employee who is working in an organization for the last 10 years, he is not showing any improvement in his performance. Now that employee has been given training 3 or 4 times, still his performance is not improving. That employee has been given 3 show cause notices also, that you have to increase your performance or otherwise strict action can be taken against you. But still, the employee has not improved the performance quality wise and quantity wise. So in this case, the organization can remove this employee from the organization. So this removal of employee, where the initiative is being taken by the organization for the removal of this employee who is not improving his performance, that will be categorized under involuntary separation. Here, the employee didn't want it to separate himself from the organization, but the organization took the initiative to separate this employee from the organization as the employee was not improving his performance. Separations make organizations leaner and reduce overheads. If new entrants are hired, they bring in new ideas and skills and diversity. Separations can cause disruptions and may increase costs also. So separations make organizations leaner and reduce overheads. Separations means when people leave the organization voluntarily or involuntarily. Earlier, 50 employees were working in the organization. 10 employees have left the organization. Now 40 are there in the organization. So if number of employees are reduced, automatically the overheads will be reduced. Earlier, the organization used to pay the salary of 50 employees. From now, the organization will be paying salary of 40 employees. If new entrants are hired, they bring in new ideas, skills, and diversities. Earlier, there was a concept that everyone who joins the organization should be retained. Nowadays, that concept is changed. Only good performers should be retained. Those who are not showing any sign of improvement in their performance, they should be removed from the organization. So if we take an example that in an organization, 50 employees were working, 10 were not performing well on the job. They were given notices, but still they could not improve their performance. They were given various types of training, but still they could not improve their performance. So these employees are removed from the organization. And now the organization is planning to recruit 10 new employees. Now, here the organization thinks that if new employees will be joining, they will be joining with fresh energy, fresh and new ideas which they can implement in their work and which will make the organization more profitable. As these 10 who have been removed, they were not contributing towards the profitability of the organization. The new 10 who will be now the organization will be recruiting, they will be coming with new ideas which can be implemented in their work and which will make the organization more profitable. But sometimes separation can cause disruptions and may increase the costs also. Sometimes it may cause disruptions also. When it may cause disruption, it is not always that the employees who are not performing well, they are being separated from the organization. Sometimes good employees, best performer of the employee may separate himself from the organization. So this way, separation may disrupt sometimes. There can be an instance where two or three very good performers of the organization, they may leave the organization for better opportunity in some other organization. So this will lead to disruption for the existing organization. So it is not always that the separation will give you a good results. Sometimes separation may give you a bad result also. So if your non-performers are separating themselves from the organization, then it is good for the health of the organization. But if good performers, if better performers, if best performers are leaving the organization, then it is a loss for the organization. So that is regarding separation. Tomorrow's lecture, we will discuss about the types of separation. So only 5 minutes are remaining. So we will stop for today's session. In tomorrow's session, we will we will take up the types of separation. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. We will meet tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thank you.
Thank
थँक्यू
you,
सर.
sir.
सर एक विचारायचं होतं.
ओके
Yes.
सर.
सर ते उबाळे सर बोलले होते की BA चे लेक्चर्स सिंहगड सोबत